Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine, just for a second, diving deep into one of the absolute most complex, visually stunning environments in the entire human body. We're talking about the microscopic world of the eye. Picture these ultra-realistic biomedical landscapes, right? Surrounded by brilliant amber carotenoids and these vibrant emerald green cellular structures. Today, we're uncovering the future of retinal longevity. We're going to explore how cutting-edge microbiome science is just completely changing everything we thought we knew about eye health. Let's get right into it. So, to really understand why this matters, just consider this absolutely massive number. 196 million. That was the estimated global population affected by macular degeneration back in 2020. And, well, as our population ages, that number, it's only climbing. For millions of people, the slow degradation of the macula, which is that tiny central part of the retina that gives us our sharp, detailed vision, it means a really devastating loss of independence. For years, we've kind of treated this as an unavoidable consequence of just getting older. But as you'll see, science is revealing a fascinating new story here. And that actually brings us to a really compelling mystery. What exactly is the biological connection between the gut and the eyes? I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, right? How on earth could microscopic microbial ecosystems down in your digestive tract possibly influence those high-definition cellular cameras up in your head? Well, the answer completely rewrites the rulebook on how we support long-term vision. But, okay, to understand the solution, we first need to understand the battlefield. Part 1, the anatomy and aging of the retina. So if we zoom right past the lens of the eye and the vitreous fluid, we land on the macula and its ultimate life support system. This is the retinal pigment epithelium, or RPE for short. Now, because your retina is constantly exposed to light and oxygen, it demands a massive amount of energy. And that high demand, it makes it incredibly vulnerable. Over time, we start to see a real rise in oxidative stress and a steady decline in the mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of the cells. And when those mitochondria start to fail, these toxic protein and lipid deposits, called drusen, begin to accumulate. This sets off chronic inflammation and rogue, abnormal blood vessel growth, something called pathological VEGF expression. Basically, the retina literally becomes stressed and exhausted. And this exhaustion, it leads us to a crucial, newly discovered mechanism called ferroptosis. This is a really specific, iron-dependent form of programmed cell death. See, because the retina is just packed with fatty acids and is constantly bathed in light, it's highly susceptible to toxic lipid buildup. So when the cell's antioxidant defenses finally give out, iron catalyzes a reaction and the cell is destroyed. This ferroptotic pathway is now recognized as a major driver in the degeneration of the RPE. It is literally a microscopic tragedy happening in slow motion. Part 2, the secret microbiome retina axis. Now, this is where it gets super interesting. Recent research reveals that your gut bacteria actually act almost like a remote pharmacy for your eyes. First, through a process of fermentation, beneficial gut bacteria process nutrients and create entirely new, highly active compounds known as postbiotics. The absolute most important of these are short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. Through systemic communication, these SCFAs actually enter the bloodstream, traveling all the way up to the eye. Once they arrive, they provide crucial retinal defense by modulating exactly how the RPE responds to cellular stress and inflammation. Pretty amazing, right? Part 3, the power of fermented nutrition. The best part is, we don't just have to sit back and hope our gut produces the right signals. We can actively support this gut-retina axis. By utilizing integrative nutritional science, specifically fermenting botanicals using a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, we can massively amplify the bioavailability of crucial compounds. And a huge part of this defense strategy relies on something called autophagy. Think of autophagy as the cell's internal recycling and waste management system. So by providing fermented nutrients, we deliver specific polyamines like spermidine, which are powerful triggers for this recycling process. This clears out all that damaged biological debris, restores mitochondrial function, and really gives those high-energy retinal cells a fighting chance against aging. Part 4, the retinoferment ingredient universe. Now keep in mind, we're not talking about a commercial treatment here, but rather a really dynamic, integrative nutritional concept designed for long-term retinal longevity. And this approach maps out with just incredible biological elegance, using a 3-biotics ecosystem that specifically targets the cellular defense mechanisms we've just been talking about. For the macular pigment, things like lutein and fermented goji provide zeaxanthin for vital optical blue light filtration. To really drive that cellular recycling, arată, which is a fermented pollen, along with fermented wheat germ, provide natural spermidine and SCFAs.
And then for vascular defense, ingredients like Salvia miltiorza and fermented cruciferous vegetables actually activate NRF2, which is our cell's master antioxidant switch, while at the same time modulating VEGF to stop that abnormal blood vessel growth.
When you bring all this together, it creates an absolute symphony of cellular support. Saffron provides crocin for direct functional neuroprotection of the retina. Fermented bilberry delivers these concentrated anthocyanins to combat photostress. Ginkgo and fermented grapevine bring in resveratrol and flavonoids to support that super delicate microcirculation and overall mitochondrial health. We even see complex amino acids from fermented mushrooms, like ergothioneine, accumulating specifically in stressed eye tissues to activate defense pathways. And beta-carotene? Well, that ensures the visual cycle has the vital precursors it needs to function smoothly. When you look at the contrast, it is just striking. An aging, stressed retina is totally overwhelmed by oxidative stress, bogged down by toxic drusen, highly vulnerable to ferroptosis, and just starving for mitochondrial energy. But a supported retina? It exists in this vibrant, protected equilibrium. It's balanced through the activation of those master antioxidant pathways, shielded by a strong macular pigment, nourished by healthy microcirculation, and defended by robust cellular homeostasis. It's like night and day. Part 5, Retinal Longevity and the Future. Ultimately, true eye health is really about cultivating a thriving internal environment that empowers our cells to defend themselves at a microscopic level. Imagine a once vulnerable retina gradually becoming illuminated as a glowing golden macular pigment builds up. This pigment literally acts like biological sunglasses, a natural internal shield that filters out high-energy light and neutralizes free radicals before they even have a chance to touch the delicate photoreceptors. And beneath that golden shield, mitochondrial energy is fully restored. The RPE cells are vibrant again, actively sweeping away debris through autophagy, and totally fortified against the toxic lipid buildup that causes cell death. This profound biological foundation is exactly what allows us to maintain sharp, clear vision as we navigate through the decades of our lives. Understanding this secret gut-retina axis completely shatters all our old limitations regarding eye health. The clarity of our vision tomorrow really does depend on the microscopic microbial conversations happening in our bodies today. So I guess the only question left is, how will you choose to nourish that ecosystem? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and remember to keep exploring the incredible science inside you.